On July 24, 1944, the 4th Marine Division launched a pivotal landing on Tinian, a small yet strategically vital Pacific island. Tinian's airfields, within striking distance of Japan, were critical for Allied bombing campaigns against the home islands. Famously, in August 1945, the Enola Gay departed Tinian's North Field on its fateful journey to Hiroshima. Despite its immense importance, the invasion of Tinian remains largely overlooked in the annals of Pacific War history, overshadowed by more brutal conflicts like Iwo Jima, Okinawa, and Guadalcanal. Perhaps Tinian's efficient success rendered it less dramatic, causing it to slip from collective memory. Yet, this remarkable operation, codenamed Forager, stands as a testament to exceptional military strategy and deserves a prominent place in historical remembrance. Marine Corps Major Carl W. Hoffman, in a 1951 historical account, meticulously detailed the Pacific strategic landscape in 1944. The Saipan operation, spanning June 15 to July 9, marked a decisive breach in Japan's outer defenses, a metaphorical knife thrust into the enemy's heart. The subsequent capture of Guam, Tinian, and Pelileo would further twist this blade, severing crucial arteries of the Japanese Empire. Tinian, though modest in size at approximately 39 square miles, comparable to Los Alamos National Laboratory, held disproportionate strategic value. As Hoffman emphasized, its close proximity to Saipan transformed it into a key component of the Marianas defense, a sentiment echoed by Japanese strategists who viewed the two islands as a singular tactical entity. The fall of Saipan therefore made Tinian's capture almost inevitable, a strategic imperative. Hoffman noted that leaving Tinian unconquered would have provided the Japanese with a constant nuisance, enabling harassing raids and surveillance of U.S. operations continuously relayed to Tokyo. U.S. Marine Corps Reserve Major R.J. Brown, in a 1984 article, further highlighted Tinian's strategic placement directly south of Saipan's tip. Its seizure was a logical and recognized follow-up to the 1944 Saipan invasion, acknowledged by both sides. The critical question was not if or when, but how to best secure the island. Tinian, despite its modest size and a garrison of only 9,000 Japanese troops in 1944, posed a significant challenge. General C.B. Cates, commandant of the Marine Corps in 1951, described it as a formidable natural fortress. An amphibious assault on Tinian could have been an exceedingly costly endeavor, jeopardizing the Marianas campaign. The island possessed only one beach conventionally suitable for a major amphibious landing, and it was fortified with extensive minefields and expertly defended positions. The Japanese forces, as Brown elaborated, were far from negligible. Over 9,000 hardened defenders were poised for a fierce defense, having been alerted by the American victory on nearby Saipan. Thus, achieving surprise would be incredibly difficult. However, the Americans possessed distinct advantages, primarily the strategic closeness of the recently secured Saipan. Hoffman pointed out that this proximity allowed for greater tactical flexibility in air and naval operations, compared to more distant overseas campaigns. Tactical plans could be more adaptable, and troops were spared grueling, prolonged sea voyages. Logistically, Tinian's proximity offered further benefits: reduced shipping requirements, more agile logistical planning, secure overwater supply lines against naval disruptions, and efficient air transportation for supplies and evacuations. Internally, Tinian featured relatively flat terrain punctuated by sugarcane fields, while its coast was defined by formidable coral cliffs. The island's only urban center, Tinian Town, was built around a sugar refinery. Initial reconnaissance identified just 3 potential landing zones: Tinian Town, Asiga Bay, and an area in the northwest near Ushi Point. Tinian Town Beach offered the most favorable terrain, while Asiga Bay was considered marginal due to challenging tides and coral reefs. 2 narrow beaches near Ushi Point, also hindered by reefs and cliffs, were identified but presented considerable challenges for approach. This difficult terrain prompted a crucial strategic dilemma. Hoffman's accounts highlight the recognition, among U.S. planners, of the potential for tactical surprise by targeting the seemingly neglected northwestern beaches. While all acknowledged the possibility of surprise, some senior commanders opposed using these smaller beaches due to their extremely limited capacity. Yet, extensive studies and discussions led to a bold decision. The inherent risks of using these small northwestern beaches were meticulously weighed against the potential rewards. Ultimately, the plan was approved to use these minor beaches, code-named White 1 and White 2, but with an ingenious tactical twist. Brown recounts that Colonel Carlson, celebrated for coining the Marine gung-ho spirit, advocated for a daring maneuver. The 2nd Marine Division would stage a feint at Tinian Town, creating a diversion that would occupy Japanese forces. Simultaneously, the 4th Marine Division would execute a stealthy backdoor landing on the smaller northern beaches. This deceptive maneuver at Tinian Town was designed to pin down Japanese reserves during the critical initial hours of the real landing, allowing the main assault to bypass Ogata's heavily fortified concrete defenses. Brown emphasizes that this bold decision was not reckless but a calculated risk, based on thorough analysis of enemy plans, preparations, and morale. The objective was to demoralize the Japanese through surprise, gaining a physical and psychological advantage. Despite the inherent risks, the unorthodox plan was ultimately sanctioned. While some conservative officers initially dismissed it as overly daring and controversial, General H.M. Smith's persuasive advocacy convinced them to embrace the inherent risks and adopt the innovative strategy. Beyond the maneuver itself, other crucial elements contributed to Tinian's success, notably the unprecedented fire support. Hoffman points out that a key factor in choosing the White Beaches was the ability to provide concentrated artillery support from Saipan. This unique capability, with Saipan's already secured artillery batteries offering direct fire support, set Tinian apart from other Pacific amphibious operations and bolstered the decision to land on the beaches closest to Saipan. Furthermore, the sheer scale of available forces was a significant advantage. The primary assault was led by the 2nd and 4th Marine Divisions, both seasoned but depleted from the intense fighting on Saipan, having sustained over 6,000 casualties each. Though reinforced, their reduced strength limited their capacity for a broader assault on the southern beaches. Brown underscores that every factor was meticulously analyzed: fire support, logistical challenges, terrain, and the combat readiness of an assault force still recovering from Saipan. Ultimately, the backdoor approach was deemed the most effective strategy, leveraging the available forces' capabilities and exploiting their strengths. Naval and air bombardments commenced in June, even before the Saipan invasion, escalating as more resources became available, culminating in a relentless barrage on J-Day. Night and day, destroyers and Saipan-based artillery relentlessly pounded Japanese positions, as Hoffman observed, steadily eroding their combat effectiveness. The imperative of maintaining surprise for the landing zones did, however, influence the intensity of the pre-invasion bombardment. Hoffman detailed that the Tinian naval gunfire plan balanced deception with destruction. In cases of conflict, deception took precedence. Consequently, fewer ships engaged the White Beaches until the day before the invasion, when the battleship USS Colorado briefly shelled that sector to neutralize heavy guns that Hoffman indicated were positioned to enfilade the White Beaches. This targeted engagement, coupled with redirected fire from Saipan-based artillery, served both to deceive and to destroy. Hoffman further noted that the Colorado expended 66 8-inch shells over an hour and 45 minutes, a methodical effort that successfully eliminated all 3 large enemy guns. Crucially, the artillery from Saipan provided an unparalleled advantage. Dr. Mike Krebdo, the U.S. Army Command historian, asserts that Tinian received the most sustained preliminary artillery bombardment of any Central Pacific island in the war. A significant portion of this artillery support came from the Army. Krebdo refutes the common oversimplification of Mariana's operations as solely Navy, Marine Corps endeavors, highlighting extensive Army participation throughout the Tinian landing force. The close proximity of Saipan-based artillery provided a distinct edge in preparatory bombardment. Hoffman explained that targets in Tinian's northern half were primarily engaged by artillery for destruction, while air power focused on enemy installations in the southern half, with naval gunfire targeting areas inaccessible to air or artillery. To maximize artillery effectiveness, General Schmidt, as Hoffman describes, centralized all but 4 light battalions under a single command. Brown elaborated on the unique task organization of Tinian's artillery, a testament to the commander's deep understanding of war principles. This centralized command over 156 artillery pieces on Saipan ensured unity of command and optimized the principles of mass and economy of force. Kribdo noted that the 24th Corps Artillery, comprising 13 battalions with 156 guns, delivered sustained 24-hour fire averaging 1,509 missions and 24,536 rounds daily. Hoffman noted that the unique circumstances on Tinian allowed General Schmidt to expend ammunition liberally while conserving personnel. This strategic approach was a consistent feature throughout the operation, proving immensely effective. Hoffman highlighted the expertly coordinated and extremely effective U.S. artillery, a sentiment echoed by a captured Japanese prisoner who stated, "You couldn't drop a stick without bringing down U.S. artillery." Lighter 75 pack howitzers were integrated directly into combat units to provide pinpoint firepower at critical junctures. The entire landing force was meticulously organized, leveraging flexibility and adaptability to confront the unique challenges of the campaign. The Army's contribution extended to extensive pre-landing preparations. Kribdo described Operation Forager as a meticulously planned, organized, trained, and rehearsed endeavor conducted across Hawaiian bases. New assault troops underwent specialized training packages, developed and delivered by Army personnel at bespoke facilities designed to simulate Mariana's combat conditions. Infantry, artillery, engineers, and tank crews honed their skills in breaching obstacles and fortifications, reaching a state of near perfection. Post-campaign reflections from participants consistently praised the rigorous preparation, fostering a sense of having experienced it all beforehand. Innovative solutions, such as armored amphibious LVTS, landing vehicle tracked, modified with ramps to scale Tinian's cliffs, further underscored the meticulous planning. The landing on July 24, designated J-Day, unfolded with spectacular success. The Japanese garrison was caught almost entirely by surprise by the landings in the northwest. Brown, quoting Sun Tzu, emphasized the strategic principle of appearing where the enemy must rush to defend, and moving swiftly where one is least expected. A maxim expertly applied at Tinian. The 2nd Marine Division's feint was highly effective, drawing Japanese forces away from the actual landing zones. While feints had been attempted elsewhere in the Pacific, they often failed due to a lack of believability. Tinian, however, was a truly unique operation. Hoffman proudly highlighted Tinian's numerous firsts in Pacific amphibious warfare: the first corps-sized marine shore-to-shore operation, the first time large marine forces landed on such limited capacity beaches, and the first instance of thorough aerial reconnaissance by unit commanders prior to an amphibious assault. It also marked the first combat use of combat troops so soon after another major operation, and notably, the first battlefield deployment of napalm bombs, a weapon that would later devastate Japanese cities. The meticulous planning, thorough preparation, and shrewd exploitation of Tinian's unique circumstances paid off. Brown chronicled that the battle lasted only 9 days, with Marines inflicting 50 casualties on Japanese defenders, capturing 250 soldiers and interning 13,662 civilians. Marine losses were remarkably low: 290 killed, 1,515 wounded, and 24 missing in action. The staggering 20-to-1 Marine kill ratio was the highest achieved in any major Pacific operation. Tinian also earned the distinction of being the fastest moving Marine operation of the war, a strategic victory of immense magnitude. Tinian, often termed the forgotten invasion, ironically owes its obscurity to its overwhelming success. It was so flawlessly executed that it lacked the harrowing drama and massive casualties that indelibly marked battles like Iwo Jima and Okinawa. While the Japanese garrison, as Kribdo rightly argued, fought with tenacity, their efforts were ultimately squandered in ineffective mass counterattacks, with fewer than 500 surviving the battle. Yet, Tinian's triumph is precisely why it warrants remembrance. As Brown eloquently posed in 1984, what lessons can a battle fought 4 decades ago present to a commander with modern weapons? His answer: many. Navy Admiral Raymond Spruance perfectly encapsulated the essence of this overlooked invasion. In my opinion, the Tinian operation is probably the most brilliantly conceived and executed amphibious operation of World War II.